Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Philly Sports International podcast brought to you by Loch Lomond Whiskies and Passyunk Avenue. Today I am joined by the four pillars, well, me included. I'm joined by three other pillars of the Philly Sports International community. Got Rich, UK Flyers representative slash Phillies sub-expert. I've got the man himself, the ear expert and all things Phillies, Dave Shaw from UK Phillies. And today we've got Sam joining us to complete the 76ers aspect of Philly Sports International. Ben is unfortunately unable to make it. So Sam from the UK Crossover podcast is joining us to help fill in and give us some updates on what's going on in the Sixers as well, because believe me, it feels like it's been very quiet from my perspective. I don't know about you, Sam, but I'm pretty sure you guys are tearing your hair out a little bit with what's been going on. So I'm looking forward to getting around to talking about the Sixers because we didn't have Ben last episode, so we kind of just we winged it a bit and didn't really cover them. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. So hey guys, thanks for jumping on tonight. Let's get the latest episode underway. How are we all doing? First of all, Rich, been busy the last few weeks. Back in the swing of things. Flyers, Phillies, everything.
Yeah, we'll get obviously. Obviously the Phillies.
Eagles.
Phillies are heating up. Eagles are. Oh yeah, of course. I didn't stay up for the Dallas game, unfortunately, but I avoided all the scores, so I was watching it live at 7 a.m. the following morning. But yeah, it's been good. We beat the Cowboys. Phillies are currently 3-0 up in the series against the Mets. So and then the Chiefs this weekend. It's all lots of big. I know they're not really a traditional rival, but I think a recent rival. So it's all been going up. But yeah, ready for the Flyers to be back. Training camp, rookie training camps just started. Proper training camp starts soon. So yeah, looking forward to some hockey being back as well.
Well, yeah, that's probably a good little bit of segue. This episode's going to be called the Philly Tuxedo. Now, surprised to know that not everyone knows what a Philly Tuxedo is, but for those that don't, I'll explain it to you. A Philly Tuxedo is when you are wearing more than one of the Philadelphia sports team's attire. So if I go out in my Eagles jacket and I stick my Phillies cap on, that technically counts as a Philly Tuxedo. And you've just kind of quite eloquently demonstrated there, Richard, what a Philly Tuxedo is, because all four sports for you, because you are probably the most involved in all of them out of all of us. We all kind of dip in a bit. We've all got a particular area, but this time of year, chaps, always seems to be the bit where, the Phillies are going for Red October. The Eagles have just gotten underway. Sixers are kind of coming up to the season start along with the Flyers. So it kind of perfectly sums up that this time of year is the epitome of a Philly Tuxedo, in sense that all teams are kind of active, at least. And so some descriptions, some more than others. But it feels very appropriate to call this episode a Philly Tuxedo just to represent that. But yeah, like I said, we've got Dave, UK Phillies, joining us as well today. Dave, this is the time of the year for you, so proper exciting. And the Phillies are coming into form just at the right time as well.
Yeah, what a contrast the last time we potted. Some wild takes were had. I remember that. I'm trying to keep my feet on the ground, but it's getting more and more difficult. I think someone said today that it reminds them of the 22 Phillies with the vibes, and it really does. And the way they're playing baseball as well and how they're getting hot, it has a more 22 feel to it than a 23, 24. Last year, I don't know. You kind of had a feeling something wasn't quite right. Something wasn't quite there. This year, even with Wheeler and Turner going down, there's just that feeling coming back. Could it be our year? It's aligning. It's aligning. Turner should be back in a couple of weeks, and everyone has stepped up incredibly since the All-Star break. Stubbsy coming back has injected a bit of life, a bit of vibes into the dugout, into the locker room. And they've all rallied behind Wheeler and Turner going down. Everyone who has stepped up has again contributed. The outfield, what a turnaround that has been. Absolutely incredible. Stotts clicked. It's all. I'm trying to get my feet on the ground, but it's all coming together.
It's hard not to get excited. I know that feeling. Is it similar to last year with the Eagles? There was a point in the season where I think everyone's head started allowing themselves to sort of like rise up out of the body experience.
I seem to remember everyone being doubtful until probably 10 minutes to go in the Super Bowl. It was still, we're going to lose.
Well, yeah, I mean, in reality, I think we didn't allow ourselves to say it out loud. But I know deep down, I think you notice what I'm saying is the vibe. You can kind of get the feeling
Yeah.
of could it be? You don't want to say it is going to be, but you're like, we are
No,
all in.
I was all in from week 4, but yeah, I
Yeah,
know what you're
from
saying.
week 4.
I've got those receipts.
Cool. Yeah. Like I said, Sam UK Sixes crossover podcast, stepping in for Ben and Philly Sports International guys. Yeah, just give us a quick overview of how the last sort of month or two have been for the Sixers. I keep dipping in the chat trying to see what's going on, but it doesn't seem like there's an awful lot of optimism. There's lots of doubts, concerns. I think respectively in Philly teams, we've all been there at one point in time. It's easy for me to have a smile on my face for the Eagles. I know what it's like following a 4-11 Eagles team at one time. But how just give us a quick summary on it, man.
Yeah, it's not been good. The best thing that's come out in the last couple of months is the fact they're bringing back the jerseys from the Iverson era. So that's how bad it is. And I mean, we might get onto it because I think obviously the Eagles have got some great gear coming out. You got all this nostalgia stuff coming out. Obviously, Dave's got the sort of the decent Phillies jersey that everyone seems to like. The Kelly Greens kicked off, and now we've got the Black Iverson jerseys coming. And obviously, orange and blacks are famous for the Flyers. So it's just like the fact that we're celebrating a jersey coming back, it's kind of just sums it all up, really. It's been really poor. I'm just glad that obviously the Eagles season's back and the Phillies season. I wasn't believing the Eagles from week 4 last year, and I didn't even believe the Phillies a few weeks ago. I was definitely out after the Mets series in New York, but they must be cheating or something because they seem to beat us every time there, and we seem to beat them here. So I'm not very optimistic. So you're not going to get much optimism from me, unfortunately, on the pod today about the Sixers. But I'll be super optimistic about the Phillies and the Eagles with you. And obviously, I need to learn a bit more about the Flyers.
We're in the same boat as the Sixers. I think it's the arena. Maybe the name change will do us good.
I was going to
But
say,
that arena's cursed.
I was trying to do the newsletter a couple of weeks ago, and I was sort of asking around for the updates, and that which was the best thing that we've got going on right now is some article that he sent out, and I was like, oh my god, I really it's trying to pull blood from a stone, trying to find content or things to get excited about. So I feel you guys, I really do feel you. Great, so that's who we've got on the pod tonight. Before we get into the more detail on the respective areas, just want to quickly touch on something really exciting that has come from Tony, who is part of the British and Irish Eagles, part of PSI. As most of you will know, that he is part of the Loch Lomond group. He's the reason why we've managed to strike up this partnership with Loch Lomond Whiskies and Ben Lomond Gin over the last sort of 3 years with the British and Irish Eagles, having branded whiskey, branded gin. It's been absolutely incredible from that side of things. And now moving across to Philly Sports International, Loch Lomond are coming with us, and Tony has finally unveiled the livery for the PSI branded limited edition Loch Lomond 12-year-old single malt bottle whiskey that we're now going to be able to not only give away as fantastic prizes to the competitions that we do throughout the years, as you may have experienced, and give away at watch-alongs. Any chance we get to give something back to you guys, there's always a bottle of whiskey in there somewhere. We can now do, we can now sell it basically due to branding. But so we are now able to sell that as well. So not only will you be able to win it in the competition, we can sell it, which is a great thing, because we know how many people were after the British and Irish Eagles whiskey. And every time we get questions, where can I buy it? Where can I buy it? And it's sorry, it's not for sale. Kind of gave it that little essence of exclusivity. You'd only get it a certain way. So I worry that maybe we might not have that. But to be honest, it's the Loch Lomond 12-year-old whiskey is absolutely incredible. I've had a few bottles of it. Let's put it that way. And I enjoy drinking it every time. And now we've got our own branding on it, and it's something super special about having your own brand. It feels, it's still their whiskey, but it's got all our livery on it. And to us, Dave, you'll agree with me on this, especially that the logo looks pretty damn sweet.
I love the logo. I love the logo. I wish that was actually the colors that we'd used. It's fantastic. It's it's the greens there, but all the fonts in gold. I love it. We should have it on sale at Passyunk. We should get Passyunk involved and have them serving it out.
Yeah, well, maybe I can speak to Gaz on Sunday when we're there. We'll get to that in a moment as well. But yeah, it's it's a 12-year-old single malt bottle, and we'll be selling it and giving it away in competitions. Then we've already given away 2 bottles actually to launch it, although they're not officially quite ready yet, not for another week or so. Running a raffle competition for week 1 with the Eagles Cowboys game, and also doing a prediction game just to get the awareness out there. But that'll be hitting the streets in the next couple of weeks. Will be available on lochlomonwhiskies.com, and obviously with your PSI discount for members, you'll get that code as part of your membership, and you will be able to get a further 10% off that bottle. So super exciting times, guys, and I'm sure we'll all get a little bit of a taster to see what we think, so we can really truly advertise it out there to the masses. Cool. Dave, why didn't you talk us through Sunday, mate? Tell everybody what's going on down at Passyunk.
Yes, absolutely buzzing. So Sunday, 14th of September, from 5 o'clock onwards, Passyunk Avenue, Waterloo, the Philly doubleheader, the Kansas doubleheader. I got slated online for calling it the Kansas doubleheader. I won't be doing that again. Oh, they're in 2 different states. I know, it's just a name. Play on the name, guys. It's a play on the name. It's simple as that. But of course, we've got the batting cage competition. Win yourself a London Series Phillies cap. Basically just a home run competition. It's good fun. You feel you had to go last time for the first time. Yeah, it wasn't great.
I hit 1 home run in about 5 3-minute periods. I managed to hit 1 over the fence, I think.
but your ground ball rate, the balls for the caps, the singles are fantastic.
It was great fun, to be honest. Like I don't know if I think it was quite hot that Sunday that we were down there.
It was
in that batting cage. I was dripping by the time.
Excuses.
So that's going to be fun. Yeah, win yourself a Phillies London Series cap. Of course, then you got the Phillies versus the Royals. Hey, the Phillies could clinch not only the postseason but the NL East on Sunday. It's still on. It could still happen. So that's we should be all but done by then anyway. But that's exciting. And then of course Super Bowl rematch, the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Like I'm buzzing for that, and it's going to be a big crowd. We've sold 44 tickets already sold. It's going to be a bumper atmosphere, plus all the walk-ins as well. It's going to be a packed house, basically, a Philly sport extravaganza. So we've got the raffle prizes to give away as well. It's just going to be great. Like I said, just to have so many people all there for Philly sports and celebrating Philly sports, and again, bringing a community together. Of course, we've got the watch-alongs in Glasgow and in Glasgow and in Cardiff as well. And it'd be great if Red October comes along. We're going to try and get some more meetups in Edinburgh as well. Red October up there like we did last year. So it's all about growing this amazing community we have going already. I'm excited. I can't wait with the hotel booked, ready to try some Loch Lomond, eat some cheesesteaks, and have a great time and watch, hopefully, a Phillies double win.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely crazy now. We've got DJ Lovelock coming down here. He's confirmed. He's coming down. He's going to be doing sets throughout the night. Young Life podcast is going to be recording throughout the night. I had a call with Gaz earlier. They were going to do a live podcast throughout the night, but they realised that 5 hours of Philly fans drinking probably wasn't a good idea. For content anyway, it's a good idea in general. But so they'll be doing snippets. So for those that are coming along, they'll probably be roping you in at some point to come and sit down and talk Philly sports. So please get involved, jump in.
And we'll have content as well going all night as well. I'll be recording some bits for the Phillies and. Not for
I'll try and do some.
PSI. So
yeah,
we'll all be getting involved and doing some chats and just getting a flavour of and a vibe of the night.
Yeah,
no disposable cameras this time. Your eyes will be happy to know.
I was going through that.
They were good. Well, maybe they were good fun. They were very bright.
It was good because
we got some good pictures.
When we saw them afterwards, it was like. Obviously, great reminiscing about the Super Bowl, but then it took me back about another 25 years to when I was going on like family holidays, and you get these little.
Okay, but I might have a cheeky look on Amazon and see if I can get some more.
It was a great little side thing. They came out with those little Polaroid cameras recently. I think it was like Fujitsu or something came out with like a modern take on it, and my wife did get one for it, and they're great. They're so super novel, like the fact that you can do the.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
No, great. Like I said, the raffle is 50% of the proceeds of the raffle tickets are going to go to Make-A-Wish Foundation, which we've been raising for throughout the year. And tickets will be available on the night. So if you haven't got them yet, don't worry. There's still going to be chats up until about 9 p.m. to get them. Right, that's the parish notices out of the way. That's the guff out of the way. Let's just get into talking about Philly sports, guys. So I'm going to start with Phillies, probably just because they've got the most going on. They're most at stake. Dave's been dying to talk about the Phillies podcast for weeks because I haven't seen a UK Phillies podcast for a while. So I know there's a lot bursting at the seams. So Dave, recent form injuries, you mentioned it earlier, Wheeler, Turner and Bohm sort of been in and out of the side. I think that, like Sam said, after the Mets series in New York, I think even I was just like, "Whoa, this is bad." I felt there was a real.
I was at a low point.
That was a low point, and then the injuries came, and I was just like, "Oh, Dave's going to be
yeah. It wasn't a good time
October at this point." But since then, they've won how many out of the last so many?
We've won every series since. We won in Milwaukee, one in Texas, now won this series. I think there was one more series in there as well. We've won as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head. It's just been incredible, the resilience of this team, the grittiness of this team. And it feels like they've gone about it the right way, and they've learned from the last 2 years, especially. So the first half of the season, getting into a groove, business-like, ticking over the wins without realistically getting out of second gear. They were well above 500 at the All-Star break, but it still felt like there's more to come from this team. Surely, this can't be it. And sure enough, since the All-Star break, these guys have gone to a different level. The pitching has been outstanding. Ranger Suarez, now we're gonna lose one of Kyle, Ranger, JT. It's just unthinkable. I'd love all three to come back. Sadly, it's not going to happen. Rangers stepped up to the plate magnificently since the All-Star break. Chris Sanchez, wow. I said at the start of the season he could be in for a hell of a season. He's had it. It's been unbelievable. We just need him to do it when it matters in Red October, especially a Wheeler going down when I'm going to be looking at him. Luzardo's come along leaps and bounds. He's had 2 bad games all year. That's it, which has inflated all his stats. Apart from that, he's been great considering he's brought in as a 4 starter. Many would have him 1 or 2 in their lineups. That's how good he's been. Then you've got Walker, who does the job as a 5th starter. He's been good. I don't know what he's doing. What we sort of expected him more. He keeps us sort of deepish into games. 5-6 innings is what you want from your 5th starter. Keeps you in the games. I'm quite happy with the way Walker's gone about business. And Nola, hey, look, his last start was excellent. Please, can we have this Nola? He should be fresh. There's no excuse of season fatigue now. He and Robertson, who comes in, who hasn't pitched really all year until now, he should be fresh. It's looking good. Like I'm putting my feet on the ground, but we sweep the Mets tonight with the Dodgers and Brewers not playing. That's massive. Tonight is a massive, massive game. Whenever we've needed a sweep, it's tonight. To finish the Mets off completely, to really get some good ground between ourselves and the Dodgers for that buy spot. We need that buy spot, by the way. With Turner's injury, with the long season that it is, every bit of rest these guys can get, I think is just a bonus at this point. They need it. They absolutely need it. I think, like I said, they've learned for the last 2 years. The buy should be enough time for them to recoup and then get back to business. None of this, they've lost momentum. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. This team have shown me more than enough to think, hey, give them the break. They'll come back just fine. And as we know, Bryce is a Red October player. I'm sure he's just manifesting, ready for when it really matters. But I'm so proud, so happy the way the boys have bounced back since that series at Citi Field, where I don't know. Like Sam said, I wasn't done, but inside I felt this is going nowhere. This is just what's going on. But it's been incredible. I wish I could stay up tonight and watch it, but it's national TV. It's just too late. But I think I'm so confident we're going to wake up to a sweep tomorrow.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I love the confidence. I love that. I think everyone is feeling that right now. It's just like I was the one in the group. I compared it to the 2017 Eagles, the way that the injuries came in and everyone thought it was a bit hopeless, but the team just seems to have endured so much resilience, and then the belief just kind of generate exponentially from there, because you're thinking, well, it doesn't matter what happens to us, we're going to keep grinding on and going forward.
It's a great comparison. It's a really good comparison. Exactly the same with Wheeler going down. It's just the way the boys have rallied round and picked up when everyone's sort of well, the outsiders certainly writ us off. As soon as Wheeler went down, how the Phils are going to cope without that? That's a Cy Young player down. One of the most important parts of your team. And the way they've picked themselves up, the way they've rallied round, Bader, what an acquisition! And I hands up. I ain't going to admit it. Same as Kepler. I was doubtful. I had my Negadelphia head on, and I was like, I don't know, but I've been proved wrong. Duran has been unbelievable. Like, to have a legit closer like Johan Duran, he's special. And all of them, they've slotted right in. They have slotted right in. They get it straight away. They come to Philly, they come to the city, and they get it. Duran screams passion after every save. His emotions just riles the fan base up. Bader is already a fan's favorite. I love him. Absolutely love the way he plays the game. He reminds me a little bit of Gene Segura. The emotions he shows, how gritty he plays. Turner goes down. You put Bader in lead off. What's he had in this Mets series get so far? 8 hits, like 2 doubles, a home runs, and he is taken off where Trey went down. It's just again that next man up mentality that they've been showing. Oh man, it's unbelievable.
So is Walker our Nick Foles then for the 2024-25 Phillies?
Could be.
Can you imagine?
Even
Nola, Sanchez has just stepped up magnificently into Wheeler's role. We get the bye. I think the first 2 games have been the road. Then they'll come home. I'm always starting to try and think about possible rotations. Last year, Sanchez was pretty much his splits were mental home and on the road. This year, you can put him in any ballpark in any situation. I trust him. And Ranger Suarez, I think they're your perfect 1-2 leadoff in your rotation for the postseason, wherever you put them. Bring Nola home. I feel much more comfortable. Phone fell out. I feel a lot more comfortable.
So excited.
A lot more comfortable Nola pitching at home than on the road. Same with Walker. I'd rather have Walker at home. Luzardo, again, you can put him anywhere. He's shown a lot of confidence, but with this bullpen, Robertson in the 7th, Strahm in the 8th, Duran and Strahm's come alive in the last few weeks as well. Alvarado won't.
Is he like 13 innings now or something without giving up a run or something crazy?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it breeds. Like, you just need one catalyst. You need one moment, and you look back over the last few months, and you can kind of look at key moments: the Duran signing, the Bader signing, this little moments, the Wheeler going down, Turner turning around and becoming one of the best players on the Phillies. But for me,
Marsh, Kepler, the turnarounds have been unbelievable.
The turnarounds have just been so stark. JT as
well
has had a massive turnaround as well. Like, I feel like they've all taken it in turn to have that slump and then get brought back up. They were like, I need to start being absolutely terrible so I can.
I feel like the Phillies they're relying less on one player or 2 players.
Yeah. Everyone's come back and everyone's.
It's a prime example of even Harper's not being as electric, but everyone else seems to step up. When one big player goes down, the other seems to step up. And look at Topper showing some balls, dropping Casti, telling him, look, you can leave your ego in the locker room. Fair play, man.
Would you say that's the moment, if you had to pinpoint one moment? Because like I said, there's been many different obvious points, but would you say, because I feel like that maybe is the underappreciated aspect, because it's the less glamorous part. But like, I'm reading the chats, following people and the opinions, is like there's been a lot of Toppers, like you said, the balls to drop Casti, sort of maybe like that's fed into the players a little bit. You reckon that's been the main catalyst?
I think a little bit. I think the players have always respected Topper. He seems to have that relationship with the players behind the scenes. The players don't say a bad word about Topper. Not at all. They all, as a group, have each other's back. I think, but in a way,
Sirianni-esque, I suppose.
Yeah, but in a way, it shows that no one is invincible in that team. Like, he's platooned all year. Let's be, third base has been platooned, the outfield's been platooned. It got a lot of questions at the time, a lot of negativity at the time, and it's paid off because everybody now knows their roles. everybody has stepped up. Everyone gets it. It's a team game. Everyone has to contribute to win a World Series and get to the playoffs. And when you're in the playoffs, everyone has to have that moment. The great thing is, where he's now platooned, the players have all been rested at times. They're not playing every single day, which I think was Casty's downfall. His burnout, especially as he gets older, it has shown. And now look at Casty. He's not playing every day, but now when he comes in, he's contributing. The first 2 games of the Mets series, he was the only one who's getting the RBIs. I think the rest for Casty, like it if he likes it or not, has done him the world of good because his at bats are far better since he has been rested, and it's just Topaz just seems to be getting it right, and it's funny when he gets it right, which is more often than not, no one says anything because the Phils win games and the players take the credit. But when it goes wrong, it all falls straight on Topper, which is so rare. We're what 25 games above 500, 10 games ahead of the Mets. The buy spot's nearly wrapped up by mid-September. His Topper's win percentage is unbelievable. One of the most successful Phillies managers we've ever had. The guy doesn't get enough credit for me, and he's had his best players go down, injured. He's done an outstanding job. Whatever happens, I highly rate Topper. I don't think many other managers could do any better than Topper.
It sounds like another Philly sports team's coach, but
yeah,
It's true. Yeah.
I think like for me the Duran signing is just like you need a bit of glitz and glamour, and I feel like we're more excited about having his entrance coming to the Phillies than we were necessarily about what it would bring up. So we would hope that he'd be as good as he is, and he's been that way. He's only had 1 failed save since he's been in 2. Sorry, but how many starts? Like percentage wise, he's been.
And it happens. Yeah,
you can't expect.
But one of them was very unlucky. Like he was throwing great pitches, and they were getting the bat on the ball miles out the zone, and it was just staying fair. So.
Yeah. So, but I feel like that excitement is just what you need to lift, and you need those kind of moments as a team to make a good championship run. And I don't think you're being over the top by getting the excitement in here early, because you've got to enjoy it while it happens as well. Because you can't be worried about what might go wrong. You've got to be optimistic about what goes right. And I think it's
especially in Philly sports. Yeah.
You've got to live it because
you've got to ride the wave. Yeah,
you've got to ride the wave. Absolutely. So number 1 seed, is that within reach?
2.5 back. If we win tonight, 2 games back from the Brewers. The number 1 seed, I'm not, but it's just getting that bye for me. Get the bye. We've got Dodgers next week in LA. I tell you what, take one of those games, I'll be happy. I think
the benefit from 1 and 2 not that much compared to obviously 2 and 3 getting the bye.
It depends on what side of you still get the home advantage. It depends on what side of the playoffs you go towards. Like the way it stands, we'll have the Mets or the Cubs.
Or it's all chop and change, really, isn't it? That's 6th spot, because the Mets are in danger now as well, genuinely in danger of not even making the postseason. Giants, Reds.
I don't fear anybody this year.
D-backs are kind of on the cusp, but they've got quite a hard run in. So
they all have. Yeah, the Mets have got a tough run.
You got no one to fear, Dave.
Yeah, apart from the Mets at Citi Field, that's it. It's just that do they have over anybody else?
They're definitely cheating there. I'm not having it. They're cheating.
Their road home splits are bizarre. Especially in baseball, you don't see it that often. But hey, they missed out on the postseason. That's it. That's even better. I don't fear anybody. The Phils have proven more than enough this season. They can get done against anybody.
I think we said as well in the chat, like the National League is definitely much harder. There's no one in the American League at all that we should be.
They're all tripping over each other. The American League's a mess. In fact, so is the National League. Behind that, well, the Brewers have just been swept to the Rangers. The Dodgers are stumbling. The Padres couldn't take advantage of the Dodgers getting swept by the Pirates. They're a mess. I just hope we're not peaking too soon. As it stands now, we are the best team in baseball.
We haven't even begun to peak, Dave.
Come on.
Right.
No, so it's always funny reference for anyone out there.
I think we're going to switch and go to Sixers Town, I think, next, because like I said at the start, I am keen to get the lowdown on the Sixers. I listened to the podcast. I get the feeling that things aren't great, but I kind of want to give you a chance to sort of bring me back up a bit, Sam, because we're coming into a new season. There's always optimism at the start of the season. What the possibilities are endless. Give us a bit more in depth about what's going on with Embiid, with Maxi, and all the players that we've taken in the draft. Like, surely there's some optimism somewhere. Come on, man. Let's do this.
I mean, it's been a tough since Christmas, really, and we're coming up to Christmas again. Like, so much so that it's bad because I mean, I went out for the parade, and the Sixers played the day I arrived. I didn't even make an effort to go to the game. I was just like, it's the first time I've been in Philadelphia and not gone to a Sixers game when they've been at home. I was just like, nah, it's all about the parade, all about watching, the Eagles stuff. And thank God the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Thank God we had the London series last year, even though I know, as Dave and us Phillies fans know, it kind of went downhill after that. And thank God the Phillies are doing their thing. And the Flyers have got a plan. They know what they're doing. I know I'm so I'll be the first to admit I'm the biggest Flyers fan. I obviously follow them from behind, but there's a plan there. They've been rebuilding. They've got some young talent in. I have no idea what our plan is now. Like, during the process, we knew, right? It was lose on purpose, get all the best picks. The league forced out Sam Hinkie because obviously we're a major market team and the teams are losing revenue. I just don't know now. And it all comes down to the fact that we overpaid for Paul George, like massively. And I doubted that from the very start and didn't think it would end well. And I mean, it's not ended yet, but it feels like it. It's just, like I said, the best thing that's come out is the fact we've got the black jerseys coming back. And, and we make good jerseys. That's literally it. The Spectrum jerseys, like we all do. I know we didn't win anything in the Kelly Green jerseys, right? But we still think of that with the Buddy Ryan defense and that nostalgia. Obviously the jersey behind Dave, the '83 World Series. The Sixers. We didn't win anything. We got to the finals with the black jersey. Spectrum, we won a thing. And at the moment, we're just like focused on that, and what the court's going to look like. And as Rich said earlier, the Flyers and Sixers have now got a new name to play in the arena. That's pretty much the news right now. So more sort of informative stuff. We're meant to be signing Quentin Grimes again, who would be like our fifth guard, but that's not happened. He put something on his Instagram with a picture of him in the Sixers jersey, so indicating he might be quite soon to doing that. There was some absolute awful rumours that we might be signing Ben Simmons again, or we went for him last year.
Oh, Christ.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that's a right idea, unless he suddenly turns back the clock and plays like he did in the first 3 years when he was a good player. That's a bad move. But I could see Darren Morey doing that. He's the most unpredictable GM. Like, I think when you compare him, obviously the gold standard's Harry Roseman, but you just think, compare him to other people in the league, you can see where their sort of plan is. I don't know with Darren Morey. It seems to be sign loads of old vets, get them in, no matter who they are and what their injury history is, and try and make it work. And I just don't think it does like that. And I'm really worried that we're going to go guard heavy this year because Embiid's not going to be healthy. And if you don't have Embiid healthy, you're not going to win the championship. The Sixers aren't going to do a Phillies or an Eagles and do it. I can't imagine Boner, the backup center, turning into Nick Foles. I can't imagine, Maxi. I love Maxi, but I can't imagine him going from like borderline all-star player to like superstar, which is what you'd need. I've got no optimism for you guys, really. I really don't. I don't. I apologise.
Really?
McCain coming back. That's probably the only positive. McCain coming back. Is he going to be as good as he was? Maybe. His injury was bad, so we'll see.
I really hope that this was going to be like the soul searching section of the podcast where you'd suddenly kind of go, well, actually, we've got this, and do you know what? We've got this. And
I was waiting for it as well. I was like, but
Oh, where did it get off?
but I guess, like, the outside looking in reflects true on what's actually going on at the ground level with you and Ben is just like the despondency is visible, and you can hear it in your voice. It's terrible that the team was talking about moving into Centre City, was trying to move into Centre City, and that failed. But like the priority is all wrong. Like trying to maximize revenue when the team was in the doldrums, it's like you're kind of going to take 2 steps forward, one massive step back by trying to sort of like paper over like, oh yeah, the team's terrible, but no one cares about the team, and people just want a nice glamorous stadium to go to on a Friday night in the center of the city where they don't have to get the scepter. Like that's like smacks of just like completely warped priorities that just aren't going to help you out in any way.
No, and I just think the stadium thing was really annoying. I know Ben was actually kind of like didn't mind the idea, but like you know, as you guys know, when you go out there, it's just nice having those stadiums together. And also, they've done a lot of upgrades with it. You know, when I went when it was the Wachovia Centre, it was an absolute dive and needed a lot of work. And they've done it up really well, to be honest, with the limitations that they have. So I'm glad that's kind of not been a talking point now for the Sixers. It's just understanding where Daryl Morey is going to take the team. You know, similar to Flyers, we've got the training camp coming up, and hopefully, you know, there's been pictures of Embiid working out a little bit. So, you know, like I say, you might get a bit excited with that. But
Here we go.
It's that token time of the year where Embiid's moving.
Yeah. He can actually walk up and down the court. Like, I can do better than I could probably walk better than him with my ligament in my foot. But he's I think the thing with the Sixers is they're very lucky that when they have a bad patch, the other teams are doing really well. So the radio and the media aren't on them as much. So they do get away with that little bit of sort of, they don't get the spotlight on them as much. You know, when they do, it's very much okay. Well, we just won the Super Bowl, so we're still hung over from that. So it got let go last year. So this year's going to be interesting to see how it plays out now, because you kind of got the bye last year. We're now, what do you call it? I know you're going to talk more about Eagles in a minute, but we're very much like I wouldn't say entitled, but we're very expected this year that we're going to win something. Obviously, we're expecting the Phillies to make the playoffs, and we'd like to think they're not going to go out last year. And I agree with Dave. I think Harper's going to prove a point this year because of last year's October. That was hopefully a one-off for him in the playoffs last year. So are we going to have it again where if the Phillies do well and the Eagles do well, the Sixers will go under the carpet again, and it's going to be, it doesn't really matter because the other two teams have done really well, and the Flyers are on the up because they've got some good young players coming through whose names I won't even try and pronounce. And it's just like, is that going to happen again? So that's where I'm at with it. You know, I think unfortunately PSI, it's best to be happy in the Eagles, Flyers, and Phillies chats this year over the Sixers ones.
I don't think the city can ever be truly 100% happy. It always has to have something. We always have to have the annoying little brother that's just like not winning. Like, can't everyone win? No, that's not how Philly does things.
You imagine if all 4 won in 1 year.
Well, if all 4 and even the Union managed to win in 1 year, I think the US would self-destruct more than it already is. It's crazy. We always need that to talk about. You know, like I said, we've all been there at one time or another. It's nice to be in the ascendancy as the Phillies and the Eagles are, but we're well aware that season to season you can have those down seasons and it can go terribly. The one concern
we had to wait 10 years to get to the playoffs after 2012. You know,
I was thinking
even the fact that we're on the verge of winning back-to-back NL East, I ain't taking it for granted. It just doesn't happen to the Phillies. You know, it's very rare. You know, we have spells, early 2000s, 2007, 2008, 2009, 11, 12. There's nothing for 10 years. Now we're going for our spell again, and I'm well aware that possibly in 2-3 years' time we could be in a mini rebuild. It
can change so drastically, like the Eagles, in a positive way and in a negative way. The whole Carson Wentz side of things turning into Jalen Hurts. Like, we got lucky. Like, if you can't say that the Eagles weren't incredibly fortunate. Like, whether not going to go into the Jalen Hurts drafting opinions. It's more a case of, if we hadn't drafted him, or we might not have replaced Carson Wentz with Jalen Hurts when we did, it could not have worked out. And we could be right there with you right now after 4 or 5 years of just absolute nothing to cling to because nothing's gone right. We're lucky and we're out of it. So we appreciate how lucky you can be year on year. and you need that luck. But before we move on from the Sixers, Sam, what would you constitute as a good season? I don't mean necessarily record. Record's obviously part of that. But what I mean is that come the end of this season, where would you be if you were saying, like, I'm happy where we are this season? Is it kind of like you need something really bad to happen so that this rebuild, they finally let go and they kind of try and build it up again, a bit like maybe the Flyers and everyone else? Or would you hopefully kind of compete? Yeah, like, would you rather like the Sixers sort of somehow pulled something out of their rear end and suddenly had a good season actually on the court?
Well, I think the thing is, the best thing that could happen to the Sixers is as Dave knows, because he obviously loves the team that are involved in the ownership group. The ownership group ruined everything that they own. I mean, I don't know about the Devils so much, but I don't see them winning Stanley Cups. Crystal Palace mess up. Who's involved with that? Who's involved with the Reds, the Commanders? Yeah, had a good year last year, but generally it's been poor. It all links to one person, Josh Harris and his gang, and we need a Middleton, we need a Lowry to come in and be a better owner. So for me, the best thing that happens is we get a new owner or ownership, but that's not going to happen. So I think on the court, playoffs, everyone's healthy, then we have a legit shot. We do. If Embiid and George are healthy and play at their best, we have a legit shot at going into an Eastern Conference final and getting past that second round. So it's pure health. But I think overall for long term, better for the Sixers would be if the ownership did change and someone came in and actually cared about them, because that ownership, all they care about is their hedge funds and their money and their portfolio. I don't think Harris went to loads of games last year for Crystal Palace, but funny enough, he's at the FA Cup final. Sixers, he don't come to every game, but at the playoffs games he turns up. He's not there. He just wants to take the profits, take the commercial side, and doesn't really care about the actual team itself.
I hope Saints win for you on Sunday, Sam.
What's that?
I hope Saints win for you on Sunday.
So do I, mate, because I'm glad I'm not coming on Sunday.
Pick up those spots.
Yeah, it wasn't a good year last year for Sixers and Saints, but obviously, like I say, the Eagles saved my sanity for sports last year.
Yeah, last year I thought you were going to say coming around this season, because I'm saying that they've certainly not saved my sanity with the start that we had last week. So yeah,
what a segue.
Yeah, what a segue. I'm getting a pro at this now, man.
What's like? The Eagles beat the Cowboys. Like, it's the first game of the year. Everyone's rusty. You can't take a lot away from the first game of any season in any sport. Like, the bottom line is the Eagles beat the Cowboys. They're off to a winning start. Like, come on. The fan base is way too down. The comments I'm seeing on social media of all this.
But I think the best thing that come out of it was the hot tour memes that have come out of the thing. That's the best thing that's come out of the game, other than the W. But like the same with like the Phillies. Like the Phillies gone viral because of the Karen that took the baseball. Like, she overshadowed the win. But that's the best thing that happened last week. And the Thunder delay was horrible, wasn't it? So.
Yeah,
I never thought it was going to be a rout for the Eagles. Like the Cowboys wanted to prove a point. Eagles were hanging the banner, Super Bowl champions. I never saw that game on Thursday. It was going to be a blowout.
I see where you're coming from. They definitely want to turn up and spoil the party. It's the same in any sport. Like, you want to, if you can't beat your rivals, you want to make them as miserable as possible. And that was how they were going to do it, was to spoil the party. But I think it was the fact that we all come into the season off the Super Bowl win super high, but also there's a little bit of realism. A lot of players have gone, new players that come in. There's a few question marks in some depth positions.
Adoree Jackson.
And particularly Adoree Jackson. And I think then literally getting so built up for the season, so excited. We're playing the first game a Thursday night. I've taken the day off. People have made plans. I remember being interviewed outside the link, and basically they were asking us what it's like for 1 a.m. game. And you guys all know in respective sports and with the Eagles, it's you have to plan so much for this moment to go there. And then literally I'm sat down eating some chicken wings at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm like looking up, seeing Jalen Carter walking off the pitch. And I'm going, what the he's going on. And immediately, because he is such a key component, and it's the Cowboys, and it's almost like it completely changed the game from we'll win this comfortably to we need to pull everyone else in to fill this massive hole that's just opened up without even a snap being played. And then the fact that the Cowboys were scoring on every possession, and it wasn't until we managed to get a stop and throw a 51-yard pass to Jahan Dotson to actually take a proper lead rather than just a tit for tat lead. It kind of, you come away from the game kind of going, it's great that we got a win. I'm happy. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's hugely important. Above all else, nothing else matters apart from the win, first game of the season. You don't want to start on the back foot, but you can't not come away from that game going, I feel like I've been through the ringer, like with the, with, like I said, the start of the game, the delay, the fact that I didn't get to sleep until 5:30 in the morning, because it's just like, it just takes it out of you mentally, physically, and you're kind of going like, thank God we got the win. I don't think this week would have been one of the worst weeks of the year if we hadn't beaten the Cowboys, because it would have been that on top of it as well, which would have been so much worse. So yeah, I probably sound quite negative. I think it's just the fact that we're all just still recovering. And then we're going into the Chiefs on Sunday just to top it off. And yeah, we smashed them in the Super Bowl, but we're going into Arrowhead. They're hurt because of that.
And they got handled by the Chargers as well.
They got handled by the Chargers. They're going to be looking for some sort of. They're going to try and get back on the. There's just a lot of things that we have to overcome, and we're not. We started slow last year, and I feel like we're kind of going in there with confidence that we can win. But it doesn't only takes one little thing like the Jalen Carter ejection to completely flip it on your head, and there'll be a massive vibe change if something like that happens again this week. So I think we're just looking for the Eagles to come in and like just play out. We want to see how you can really play without having a massive loss like Jalen Carter come in. But yeah, it's and Dak's an asshole. So anyway,
he did spit first.
I did, but
he did spit first.
It's like when you were getting told off in school for
no. Yeah, but we're not being rough.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's like we've all. I like to think we've all grown up since then. Some people less so than others, but it is a case of, I think what annoys me the most is that grin, that shitty grin after he spit, because he knew what he'd done. He's like, I've got.
Reminded me a bit of was it the Euros when England played Portugal and Rooney got
sent off? Ronaldo, Rooney.
Yeah.
Beckham. That was Rooney.
I think it was. I think it was Rooney. Yeah.
It was because I was actually in. I remember it was in Italy at the time, and I was listening to it on a car radio, but I didn't understand what was happening because it was in Italian. I had my mate who was local, basically kind of like, and he had no interest in football. In fact, we were over there. It was I think that was the same year that Italy won it, because I was in there at the time, and it was sort of the next best thing to winning it for England was like being in Italy when they won it. He had no interest in it. I was living it for him, and I was just sat in this car, and he was telling me, and he's just like, "So there's been a red card." I'm like, "Who?" And he had no idea. And he got it all wrong. And I remember watching it back and just being so depressed. But yeah, that's kind of what it, because he's like, it's when you know that someone's got you, and it's like, you can't do anything about it. You just clench your fist, like, oh, you arsehole, you've done it. But I don't know whether that's because there's no captains on the defensive line in that area. There's only 2 captains on defense overall out of 6 or 7. And whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know. But I feel like that's an obvious area where maybe a bit of an oversight, because coming into the season before Spitgate, I would say that Jalen Carter would be a prime captain candidate. He's a bit of a volatile character, and there's some character issues coming into the draft, and that's why he fell, and so on and so forth. But he is definitely going to be one of the best defensive players in the league. He is going to be that leader. You need him to be that leader. So it's almost like by manifesting it by premonition. So make him a captain and make him grow into that role. I feel like now it's kind of harder to do that, because you're kind of rewarding a guy for bad behavior and you're not setting a good example, but he is the prime guy to become a captain.
It's the classic how the player bounces back from this sort of adversity is what's going to define him and make him, isn't it? Like, he knows he's messed up. He's got some making up to do, no doubt about it. It's now how he bounces back from that. Like a player in any sport he's going to have all the spotlight on him as well, not only from Eagles fans, but all over, all the other NFL teams. Fans are going to be looking at him, how he gets back from this, and he'll be taunted like everywhere he goes now. When he comes back, they're going to try and wind him up because they know they can get to him. It's how now he's going to have a lot of adversity, and how he comes from that. It may even propel him to be even better than what we even hoped. He's got something. Really got something to prove now.
Yeah, I think that's the hope. Is like you hope that the positive comes out of this negative. I don't think it's. I think the fact that he came out straight afterwards, spoke to the media, faced everything, and came out and said it's not going to happen again. It's like that's exactly what you need to happen. There's no.
It might be his Alec Bone moment when he said I fucking hate this place. You know.
I was literally going to ask. I said like from anyone else's perspective, but Dave, obviously you've highlighted it there, like the Bone situation where there's like that moment where it can changes a player's trajectory in the team. It could go south, it could go up, but Philly embraces these players, and I think deep down, even though people unanimously will agree that spitting is abhorrent in any kind of situation, no matter what, like they're kind of like, yeah, my guy, like he's got that dog in him. He's the Philly guy. He's gonna come out and he's gonna come good in other areas. So yeah, I'm not like sat here going, oh, bloody hell. It just feels like that moment has really defined the early steps of the season. And it's going to be a big shadow to come out from, like you said. It's whether he comes out of it and comes into Kansas City at the weekend and basically just puts Patrick Mahomes back in the casket that he put him in back in February. And that will be handy because I think that's exactly what you'll need. Like on Sunday, that will be the vibe set. It's like he needs to come out and use his force for good, which is what we know he can do and what we've seen him do in this situation. We just don't have the same defensive setup, players wise. There's a few question marks, and Patrick Mahomes is a sort of player that can pick you apart if you've got weakness, and we certainly have. Obviously, difference between the end of a season and the beginning of the season is that we worked on the issues throughout the season, so we were a much stronger team at the end. But at the start of the season, when you've got an Adoree Jackson-sized weakness, someone like Patrick Mahomes is going to surgically exploit that all day long. What do you guys? What are the guys' thoughts on the Kansas City game at the weekend? Optimism, points to look at.
I'm forever the optimist. You'll know that. There's not many games I go into not wanting to, not expecting us to win. So same again. Yeah, easy win. That's
easy win.
Ooh.
Easy win.
Sam,
Eagles by 16.
60.
Put that bet on and share it in the group, and then we'll feel confident as well. I'm confident of a win. I think there's an upgrade in quarterback, obviously, but there's a downgrade in wide receivers. So, as much as I hate the Cowboys, they've got and I think our guys are legit as well. But that is two legit wide receivers, isn't it? In Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. So Worthy's probably potentially out, and I think he trained potentially today, or was going to train today.
Yeah, he was
so I think we can win. Was he? Yeah. So I had him in one of the fantasy leagues, so I've been keeping an eye on his status because I was like, if he goes up against Jackson, start. But no, I think we'll win. I'm not as confident as Richard, but I do think we'll win. Yeah.
Well, Dave's like an honorary Eagles fan. I know he's kind of getting into it gradually. He was there at the Super Bowl, massively getting into it. So I'm not going to necessarily ask for too much detail, but go.
I'm very excited for the game. Like the Chiefs, the fans are going to be all out for revenge. It's going to be a hostile atmosphere. If the Eagles, I think they bashed them in the Super Bowl, has there been that much of a swing in the offseason for the Chiefs to make up that deficit, come back and win? Is there enough? I don't see anything other than Eagles win still. I think the Eagles edge it. I can't say. Rich's confidence is incredible. I give it to me. Although saying that, when I saw him for the Super Bowl, I
all day.
I
said, all day. I had the Eagles easily winning.
You're reading inner excellence on the floor during the game. You were that.
I still have that. It's a bit battered. I say a bit. It was very, very battered. I've still got it in my drawer.
I think the Eagles come through. I think Hurts is going to have a hell of a game. I think the Eagles have already proved already from last year. These guys know how to do it. They know how to beat the Chiefs. I think there's more than enough for the Eagles. Not as big as Rich is saying, but they'll come through. I think the Eagles will win by 6.
They're 1 point. They are 1 point favourites as a road team, which is always
Oh,
huge
wow.
as well, especially going into a team like the Chiefs. No matter, like I said, no matter how depleted they might be in certain positions, you can just never rule them out in any capacity. I think the difference for me from last year to now, particularly, is the defense. The main strength of defense was the secondary, and the cornerback, safety crew were just sort of so tight, and that involved players like Darius Slay, who are now gone. As much as there might have been the odd time where he might showed his age a little bit, that experience, the fact that Quinion Mitchell and Slay were just locked down, just meant that you just weren't worried about the deep ball. You always thought there was just a strong chance of it not getting completed or getting intercepted. I think the question marks around that, because it's like 2 years ago with James Bradbury, is what I'm kind of inkling at, is that when you have that weakness and it gets exploited, it's just demoralizing. Like your team gets the third down every time, and then done. Jory Jackson gets busted open for a 20-yard completion, first down, 20 yards up the field. And you're like, oh, and it just like, that's what gets you, and that's what I'm worried about. If that doesn't happen, I'll be right with Richard. It's just like, that's the bit I'm focusing on. If they can solve that, then happy days, no problems.
Do you think AJ will get more targets this week, Phil?
Well, you saw my
It'd be
bet.
hard to get less.
Well, yeah. You know how I'm surprised the odds weren't better. I thought about maybe going 150 yards in a game, but I think maybe that's a little bit pie in the sky. But I've definitely put a bet on him to have, like, I could have gone more receptions, maybe a bit reserved. I went 5+ receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown, because if anything, and to be honest, he hasn't been that vocal. He's been a lot more mature about his responses to the lack of targets last week. So I feel like the team's not necessarily as under as much pressure to force feed him the ball. But then again, he is the number one receiver. We don't want that narrative to creep up 2 weeks on a row, because if he doesn't get the targets 2 weeks in a row, then he will get more questions, and he will start to slip out a little bit more snippets of, I'm not happy, this is not what I want to be doing. So they're going to be force feeding him at the weekend. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has an absolute ball out game. Devontae Smith,
and he went for $500 in the chopped league.
Yes.
Crazy.
Speaking of fantasy, good segue actually. Speaking of fantasy leagues, we have the chopped league, where for those that don't know, is like a guillotine league in another name. Essentially, we've 18 team league, which was a horrible nightmare to draft. But that aside, it means it's basically one for every week. So each week we don't play each other. We just basically play everybody at the same time, and it's whoever gets the least amount of points in that fantasy league basically gets cut and is out of the league. So we lost one this week, and what happens is all their players then go on the market for a free agency frenzy, and you just see absolute wild bids, like you said, of about $500, which is a quarter of their season.
It's half. You get 1,000.
I thought it was 2.
I'm sure it's 1,000.
So someone spent half their budget on AJ Brown.
Yeah, on a guy who just got a 1.8 point week.
So it shows, there's obviously the Philly bias, but there is still going to be a bit of head in that as well, because you just know he's not gonna. That's not this season. That's just a random game. That's the game plan. It's the way the game went. Like I said, so many different factors. He is going to be back. But yeah, that guillotine league is going to be certainly fun. I completely forgot about the waivers and just saw these waivers going. I was
it's $1,000. We're spending half the budget week one.
Wow, I swear I saw it was 2,000. But anyway, that's even worse. Like half your budget. But to be honest, I don't think anyone's going to really give him too much stick if it all comes good, because we know.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
It works.
If it works, it's genius. Yeah.
But there's a part of me that's like, I kind of forgot, but I'm also quite glad, because I'm waiting for a team with some.
Because some week like Jamar Chase might become available, or. But that's what you've got to get there. You've got to, it's all goes well. I'll save it for week 14, but you've got to get to week 14 first. So.
I think I drafted pretty well, so I think that I'll be able to survive a few weeks before I need to start desperately bidding on the number one player that got cut the previous week. But aside from that, my fantasy teams are all pretty much floundering at the moment.
I went 0-3, so
yep, same.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have about 20 leagues, so I did win some. But just wanted to quickly touch on from the fantasy side of things. We obviously do for those that have drafted, know that when we do our drafts, it's voluntary, but we do a voluntary fine system whenever anyone drafts a Cowboys player. They can make a donation to the charity of Make-A-Wish this year, and to be honest, people absolutely astounded me, because normally it's like you get a tenner here, tenner there, couple of quid just for people that are like good sports and want to do it. But we raised £300 in one weekend for Make-A-Wish,
Wow.
like through doing nothing. I mean, like,
Well done.
people do lots of stuff and put themselves through, like for you yourself, Dave, obviously put yourself through the ringer for about a year to do it, and we managed to do £300 in a weekend, which was amazing. But it just goes to show that, like, raising money, it doesn't matter what you do, it's great. And we've managed to top up Dave's amazing fund. I think, how much did you raise in the end, Dave? With your
Nearly 6.
6
I got certificates saying we raised nearly £6,000. I
Six
thought we were on
grand.
4, but it got as high as 6,
£6,000,
which
and
is incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
so yeah, I just wanted to touch on that and go, like, it's always great. We do it every year. We pick a charity, or we have done as the British Irish Eagles. We try to nominate a different one each year, and just raise as much money through fantasy leagues, through charity stuff, and like runs and physical exercise, stuff like that. All sort of things go towards it. It doesn't matter how it gets done, but it was just cool to see just people get into the spirit of going, like, every time there was a Cowboy drafted, there was someone like, where's the link, and chucking in 20 quid here or there just to top it up a little bit more. Like you said, you thought we were on £4,000. A massive jump up to £6,000 is huge, and it's just great to see that the Philly sports community come together and be that generous. It was just amazing. Just to finish on, I think we kind of covered everything on the Eagles. I'm not going to cover it too much more. We know what we're going into Sunday this weekend. We've all given our various levels of optimism for the game. I'm super looking forward to going down and seeing most, if not all, of you guys down there on Sunday. But before we roll out, we do have to cut across to Richard and find out what's going down in Flyers Town. Slightly more optimism, I'm guessing, than what Sam's given us for the Sixers, but similar level of quietness. But
yeah, I'm not sure on the I mean, I would say more optimism, but not like, obviously Sam talks about a dream season being the playoffs. So I don't think that's really on the horizon for the Flyers, certainly this year. I think the goalies play better. I don't think anyone's expecting a good record, particularly. But they should play better. They should score more. There's a lot of like young players. I mean, rookie camp's just starting. Unfortunately, Jet Lichenko's just came out today that he's not actually on the ice this week, and he's kind of the one that people are hoping might step up. It looks like he's not going back to the AHL next year, so we'll see. He should be hopefully back next week. The goaltending is going to be the issue. It was awful last year. They signed Dan Vladar, who stats-wise was better than all of our keepers last year. But he's never played more than 30 games. It looks like him and Erson will still be. But if they can score more and then just lose in exciting fashion to the good teams and then still get like a good draft pick next year, the number 1 draft pick would be amazing, and get McKenna. And that's what everyone wants. It's just like Michkov needs to take another step. Drysdale needs to take another step.
Jamie.
Forster's
big old Jamie
exactly.
Drysdale.
He's put on some size. He's looking bigger in the photos we've seen anyway. They were worried that Tyson Forster won't be able to play till January. It's now he might be available at the start of the season. It's probably going to be a few weeks, but it's not as bad as first feared for him. So I don't optimism. Like, are we going to be a playoff team? Almost certainly not. Are we going to be better? And is there like some hope? Absolutely.
That's the main thing, though, isn't it? Progressing from last year, consolidating on last year, being better. That's good signs. That's good. It's progression.
Yeah. It's just can they just play more exciting hockey, and can the young guys they've got continue to improve? Obviously, Michkov was incredible last year, and the hope is that he just keeps getting better and better. He's certainly going to have more time on the ice. He was taken off a lot of games last year for silly things, but now with Rick Tocchet, I think he's certainly going to play a lot more. And getting Zegras across as well. It's questionable whether they'll play together. But certainly he's got potential to be a really good center, which the Flyers desperately need.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the vibes that I'm getting from the Flyers is that they're doing what kind of, maybe like I said, I was hinting at the Sixers should probably really thinking at, is just trying to go back and strip it back
Yeah, I mean they've been doing that for about 10 years now, but
but it feels like this season that they've actually started to really do the more sensible moves.
yes,
Like you can say you're stripping it back, but you can still make bad moves.
yeah, no, Danny Breer's certainly been, since he's taken over, is they've made a lot more sensible moves. They've still got a lot of draft picks. They're going to have a lot of cap space next year. So next year is really when we're looking at actually can this team now compete. Obviously, I think they drafted really well with Porter Matone. He's going to be at Michigan State this year, so I'm going to try and keep an eye on some of their games, see how he's playing, and hopefully he'll be on the
time, Richard. To be honest, like
it's hard. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. Like out of all of them. Out of all of them, watching the Flyers is the hardest because they tend to play at like 1 a.m. pretty much all the time. We get like 6 p.m. like UK 6 p.m. game a month if we're lucky. So yeah, they're tough to watch. Luckily, there's places out there to watch full games the day after. So
I'm assuming that one of those 6 p.m. games will be at Passyunk at some point in the
hopefully,
season.
yeah, we were trying to tie it in with one of the other teams. A lot of the 6 p.m. are Saturdays, which obviously then for people going to London, we were just talking before we came on about where we're staying on Sunday, and like obviously Sundays are quite cheap. Saturday, getting everyone to London can be a bit more difficult, but it's certainly so. We're gonna look at trying to get sorted.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to come down and catch the Flyers. Trying to catch all of them really is just so difficult. It's being in the US, like you said, the arena sports tend to be late all the time, but still good fun to catch up on the highlights. But yeah, you want to get down to. I want to experience what Flyers and Sixers can bring to Passyunk, because it's one of those aspects that is unfamiliar to me, and I haven't been able to watch, apart from being in Wells Fargo as it was last couple of years. I haven't really been able to watch basketball games with other
Yeah, I mean, I think the hope is we can at least be high scoring. We might concede a lot, but hopefully we can score a lot as well.
Yeah, definitely. Any other points before we close?
Yeah, well, just on the Flyers as well. So we're doing fantasy hockey. Which is sign up still available for that. We don't have a firm draft date yet. Just trying to wait out to see how many teams we can get and then what works best for everyone. Yahoo's a bit weird. It's the best site to do fantasy hockey on, but you can't do the long drafts like you can on Sleeper. But Tony's very kindly, as we were talking about Loch Lomond before, the winner will be able to get a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of gin. So it's a great opportunity to try and to win what is a really, really nice prize. If you've played fantasy football or fantasy baseball, you know a lot of it in the end, as much as there is some skill to it, a lot of it comes down to luck and how players go, injuries. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I don't know anything about hockey, it's free to enter. You're already a member. Come check it out. You might, if you're not really a hockey fan, you might get into it. It's a great way to learn other players and other teams. It certainly helped me playing fantasy baseball this year. Now knowing about other players and other teams and becoming not quite fans of players, but looking out for individuals. So that's going on. So just sign up to that. And the Yahoo link's expired, so if that's ever gone, I'll put another one out. But if it's ever gone, just send me a message. I can send you an invite to the league.
Yeah, I think I've got 2 teams in there by accident. I don't know what happened. I clicked the link.
Yeah, I think there's 2 people with 2 teams.
I don't know how, but
hedging your bets.
Yeah, well, yeah, I might need multiple teams to actually have a chance at this one. But you're absolutely right. Playing fantasy sports is always the best way to get into it. For me, for the NFL, back along. I'm going to take part in the baseball one when it comes around again next year. And
do
try and get involved in the Sixers one as well that Ben's set up. It's just I am a bit of a fantasy fiend, so I need to be careful. Not a successful one, mind, but all the same, I can't help but get involved. So yeah, that's going to be. There's always good things to sort of go through the season to get you into it. So if you are new to Philly Sports International, only fan of one of the particular teams, just get involved in the other ones. It's just, unless you've got a reason why. I know some people have other city fans of sports. I know Ben's a Broncos fan. But all the same, it's if you're looking to get into it, it's always worth just diving headfirst in. Each community's got its own WhatsApp chat. Fantasy league. It's friendly. It's supportive. I found that with the baseball in particular, it's always great being asking stupid questions on this podcast. Asking stupid questions as in the last pod. It was my chance to pick Dave's brains. Feel like I'm getting a little bit there myself now, but I'm looking forward to playing the baseball fantasy one next year. It's
good.
You're
You're
gonna have to get used to
We're about
managing more leagues, I think. Dave.
Yeah, it's until you get all three of your outfielders injured in the last sort of 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but again, like you're saying, like Morgan, who finished the season at 500, scraped into the playoffs last week of the season, is about to head into the final. So again, it just shows that when it comes, it is a lot. It's luck and injuries. You get injuries at the wrong time, or your players all of a sudden find a bit of form. And
yeah, I nearly cried when Roman Anthony went on the IL.
Thing with Morgan though, I can imagine him like proper research, and he seems like he's a bit of a like the stats he throws into the chat sometimes. It's like he does his research.
He's a dark horse. He's well on top to get to the finals. So he's he scraped through. I think Tom's the other one who's looking good for the final as well. Didn't go well for you, Rich, did it? All that hard work getting there. I think I was relentlessly.
I think I was about 100 points down by Wednesday, and yet I was religiously checking my team every day and making moves. And
there's nothing more debilitating than being like the number one seed and then just getting hit and just being like 4 off. It's like
it's like when you do like NFL fantasy and you inevitably lose to the team that auto drafted, and it's like, well, why do I even bother?
Couldn't be me. Oh no, brilliant. Yeah, unless there's any other points, we'll wrap this one up, guys. But thanks very much for joining me, Sam and Dave and Rich, and it's been actually quite good. Not actually quite good. I knew it was going to be good.
Is that it? It's
actually
quite good.
Is it right? You know,
put that on the tagline. Yeah.
I might be able to cancel that hotel on Sunday.
Philly Sports is actually quite good. No, this is a bit. I always undersell things. No, it's been absolutely incredible.
Maybe that could be the title of the episode.
Actually quite good.
Actually quite good.
Except the Sixers. Maybe that's why I brought it down. That's why. It would have been amazing if I picked up the Sixers.
3 or 4 in bad.
Well, that's why I put you in the middle, Sam, because I wanted to sort of like I didn't want to end Sixers. No, but it's always great to talk to you guys. I think these podcasts, like, as much as they only come out once a month, I do look forward to having them on because it's my chance to find out what's going on around the bazaars. As much as I try to keep in touch, but it's nice to sort of chat and have the people that are sort of living it a bit more. So like I enjoy like Rich coming in with his obscene like ability to recall knowledge about everything, all the sports. Like doesn't matter which sport. It's like this is happening. This and I'm like I barely keep up. I'm terrible at remembering stuff, so I have to have everything written down. Hence when I explained that the notes are for us. Like Sam, you said there's only a small amount of notes you normally have. Because you can wing it. I can't wing it. I have to have something. I have to have a handrail. I have to climb the stairs like holding like that. I can't just walk up normally. But no, it's been great. Thanks ever so much, guys. I can't even remember how we end this one out because I normally go fly Eagles fly. But thanks ever so much, guys, for joining us. And let's go Philly.
Go Phils. Go Birds.
Just sort of scream it at once.
Let's go Flyers.
Let's go Flyers.
Phils, ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Absolutely.